So everyone, and welcome to a tour of this cemetery slash secret vampire lair thing that I built here in Ravenwood. This is a lot called the Cozy Casket House, and I was inspired to build this by a real cemetery in Argentina. I will have all the details of that, and it has all of these mausoleums and beautiful statues in front of the tombs and all, so that's exactly what I wanted to do. So I have a bunch of statues from vampires, and I also included these actual crypts from life and death, as well as little details such as these fallen lampposts and stuff from vampires. I did want to make sure that this would work as a cemetery but also as a house, and I was very excited to have all of these fake mausoleums all be different. So I have different wallpapers. Some of these are from Renewal Adventure, this one is from Discover University. I used a lot of the Castle Estate kit, and you can see that here I have this fence. This is from Cottage Living, this is from Get Together, and here I have a little plasma fruit garden. I don't think it is possible for you to come here because of all of these weeds and stuff, but I do think that it looks really cool. I have this archway and this potted plant. They are from the Romantic Garden stuff pack. I have actually a bunch of statues from different packs, but a few of these, like these ones, these are, I think, from the Artist Studio kit. But yeah, a bunch of these are from vampires, the ones that have these really cool pedestals, and also this werewolf here. I like the idea of adding some ivy and some text here so that it would be clear who these mausoleums belonged to, these crypts. This one is a door from Life and Death, so it is very detailed, and it has these very cool, like, worn and cracked parts. Oh, actually the crack is from vampires. I added a few of those here and there. Here we have a gargoyle and this other statue. Both of these are from vampires. I did size down or up one of these. Door is from Castle Estate, which is actually a little bit too tall, so I just added a short half wall so that it became taller than the others, and I think that height difference makes it pretty interesting. All of this flooring is from Jungle Adventure, and it looks pretty worn. I really liked that. And I also used a few of these iron doors. They are from Lost Shark. This is a statue of blood. This is one from the gemologist statue. This one is from Life and Death, and it is from Debug. I think also the blood statue is from there, and I think this one is just perfect for this kind of build. This door is from vampires. This one I think is base game actually. On the outside you have these gates. They are from Life and Death, and I also really liked the idea of having a few benches. This one is from Get Together, and it doesn't necessarily look like a bench. And this one has little llamas. This one is from Life and Death. And I did make sure to have a few stones and some different vegetation here on the back so that they looked like they made sense, because all of this was going to be visible from here. So I even added a little window with a butterfly in here, and there is another one here. This is one of the cracked versions of the windows from Life and Death. And also columns were really useful to make sure that these looked like they were separate little buildings. I have a few crypts here and there. They are slightly forward or backward so that they looked like they blended into the rest of the place. These two statues are from Romantic Garden. I added another one of those holes on the floor. This door is from Discover University, and I added a roof behind it so that it looked like it made sense. I also did a similar thing with this roof here on this one. That's another door from vampires. Vampires has some really nice doors with clean and dirty versions. Some of them are a little bit cracked like this one, and I think that's just a very nice detail. The same goes for the Castle Estate kit. They also have these more grimy versions of things. I really liked this other crypt from Life and Death. It has little moths, skulls, and grim as well. I actually hadn't seen all these roses and the hourglass in here. So there's a lot of detail in there, and I tried to emulate that with what I had available. Things like these little wall decorations with some text. And I also added this statue. I think this one is from the base game actually. There's a similar one from City Living, I believe, with different colors, but it's basically the same statue. And here is another one of those crypts. These have some gameplay, so you can join the Undertaker career, explore the crypts, nap. They can also woohoo in there. And I added a few of these tombstones as well, and you can actually use those for your actual sims. Here I have a few that don't actually have an actual tombstone. This is a tombstone, but this one is from Cats and Dogs, and I believe it is from Debug. I placed it here and I raised it up, and these are a couple sculptures, I believe from Copperdale as well. And inside of these little crypts I have different things. This first one is a bathroom, or you could also say this last one is a bathroom because it is at the very end of the build, and these other ones have a couple of caskets or these smaller things. I also have this memorial display. I decorated it with a few candles. I really liked adding these sacred candles from Paranormal and the Wraith wax. That is what you use to make those candles. And these little candles from Lovestruck are also very cool, as well as these flowers from the Artist Studio Kit. Here we have a similar thing, another one of these funeral casket things, and the ladder. Here I have two of them, and there is a hole on the floor, which I thought was a fun thing. I was going for an abandoned cemetery kind of vibe. This one is an actual useful casket, and this emblem on the wall, this one is also from the Castle Estate kit. By the way, here I didn't use an actual column. I just have these debug pieces, and I raised them up and down so that they would fit the corners of this section. There is another ladder in here, and here on this other side I just have a few tombstones. I had fun just adding these and making the interior look like it matched the exterior. I liked adding these. This one is actually a wall decoration from Get Together, and there are a few different ones here, so you can decide which one suits your sim best. Here I have this other wall decoration. This one is from Lovestruck. You might recognize it as the ones with the numbers for your houses, but at the very end they have these two that have some sort of text in them. And here I just added a couple coffins. I added a fancier one here, and here we have an actual little fountain. This one is from Romantic Garden, and there is another one of these wall decorations from Castle Estate. I am very proud of how this garden came out. I think I would probably prefer to actually have the plasma tree be functional, but you probably could just move it into one of these bigger planters right here in the corner, and you will be able to have the plasma tree in there. So underneath this we have 3 apartments and a half, I suppose. One of the apartments is actually a vampire bar, but we will start with the first. I wanted this one to be a starter apartment in case you wanted to play with for rent. I normally prefer to have a few different households at the same time, so I would have them all be part of the same household instead of having a landlord in here. I wanted this one to have an artsy vibe, and I wanted them to have a studio apartment where they could make sure that all of their needs are met. So here we have a bathtub, and they have storage. We have this event reward from when we had Grimm's thing going on right before Life and Death. You can actually summon the Grim Reaper on this one, and I really like that it has a little skull in here. We have a rocking chair. This sort of rustic bookcase is from Werewolves. I like all of the little clutter that it has, and I decided to add some sketchbooks in here. We have a small desk, one of the artist career rewards from the base game. Here we have an easel. We have these posters from Life and Death that are really cheap, as well as these drawings from the Artist Studio Kit. We also have a few different items from that kit as well, and a violin because I thought that it would be nice to have another hobby in here. Some candles. We have a cracked mirror. Mainly I decided to add this one because of the little canvases that it has right in front of it, and here we have the door that leads to the corridor. I think that this door is really nice for this sort of crypt apartment. We have a little picture here. This one is from Lovestruck, and if we continue through here, I wanted to have at least 2 tiles of separation between the different apartments so that you would be able to actually have a wall dividing them depending on how you were playing. Moving on, we have the vampire bar. I was very happy with this one. I was actually thinking of making a different version of that small apartment that we have here, but I decided instead to make it a business, so you can actually, if you have business and hobbies, you could actually have your own vampire venue and make it vampire only. We have a few items from Lovestruck, like this candle and this bar back. I really liked adding a few bottles from Life and Death. I felt that really tied it together. And we have curtains from Life and Death together with this wallpaper from Vampires. Some base game little cabinets here. The Vampires table. Vampires candles, get together candles. These werewolf statues. This painting is actually from Paranormal, and we have Life and Death rocks in here. Actually Realm of Magic stools, but the rest of this is Life and Death except for the record player. That one is from the Bella Goth kit. We have this other event reward. It is partially burnt and it looks like it is very old. That's a character from Get Together actually. And here we have another gargoyle from Vampires. And the bottles, some of these are from the base game. A couple of these items are from Vampires, Life and Death, Cozy Bistro again, Horse Ranch actually for the drinks. And here we have a Life and Death urn as well as a bust. And on this side we have sort of a private little room. This was inspired by Peaky Blinders actually, and we have the Cozy Bistro kit, windows, door, and the menu. I really liked adding the menu in here. It feels like an appropriate place to have that. And inside we have just couches from Vampires as well as the carpet from that back. We have the menu again so that you wouldn't see the back of it from the other side, and a size down coffee table from Life and Death. Then we're going to be moving on into the main apartment. All of these can be accessed from these ladders. So in here we have a pipe organ. We have a really big, really beautiful painting from Vampires. We have the archway, which looks really beautiful in here. And on the other side I have the curtains from Lovestruck. I believe I had to size these down, or maybe not since we have medium height in here. We have the Vampires cabinets and counters, base game appliances, and this tile from Enchanted by Nature actually. Here the wallpaper is mostly just the country kitchen kit, and we also have these bones. They are actually from Jungle Adventure, and I thought that it would be a fun little nod to the fact that vampires, their source of food is humans. Here we have another skull. This is a cabinet from Vampires with some potions and stuff. We have that same record player, but in an older looking kind of swatch, at least a more beat up looking kind of swatch. We have the same gallery wall from Bella Goth's kit, and I really liked how this dining room setup looks. We have these same candles from Lovestruck. We have this beautiful flower arrangement from Growing Together, and Vampires and Life and Death chairs, which actually went really well together. And I sized up this rug from Vampires so that we had a runner rug that was the perfect size. Here we have a bar next to a wall. This is perfectly functional and it helps save some space. I really like how the little bottles and glasses look in here. We have that same painting from Vampires. This is one of my favorite swatches as well. I think that the frame goes perfectly with the frame from this door. And we have an extra little coffin in here, or casket. I don't really know what the difference between those two are. You can let me know in the comments if you know. But yeah, we have another tapestry from Vampires. And this is what I was thinking is probably either some more storage or a bed for a guest, you know, kind of like when you have a sofa that turns into a bed in your living room. So this is actually in front of the living room. Here we have the door to the interior passage. We have this really cool looking fireplace from Horse Ranch actually. It had the perfect color swatch and some tools. Because there wasn't much space in here except underneath the television, and I didn't want the television to be too high up. We have another little furniture piece from Horse Ranch in here and some more portraits as well as some candles. Here we have the couch from the Bella Goth kit with base game love seats, a love struck coffee table. This very large rug is actually from Vampires, but I sized it up, and we have the matching TV and bookcase door from the Bella Goth kit. Here I add some decorations. This is from Life and Death, the hourglass. The urn is from Vampires, and these other two pieces are from Paranormal. I really liked how bright this red is. It is sort of the color of blood. And then through those doors we have a little study. Here's a chess table. This one is from high school years. This rug is the same as the rug that we have here in front of the pipe organ. This is from Businesses and Hobbies. The painting is from Life and Death. This other one is from Werewolves actually, and it's a scratched portrait of another vampire. There's a few of these actually. I think there's one of Blood and of the other vampires that we see in the different portraits. I also wanted to have more books in here. Maybe these are from the vampire lore, the vampire encyclopedias. These are all from Life and Death. And here we have a Horse Ranch desk with items from Werewolves, Life and Death, the really cool typewriter computer from Garage Living, and I was amazed to see that it looked really nice with this vampire's chair, and these vampire's chairs also look great in here. This is the primary bedroom. Here we have the bed from Vampires, the love seat from Lovestruck, and I really liked having this rug from Enchanted by Nature. It has a dragon, which if you know about Dracula means son of the dragon, and some of the media that references Dracula really likes to feature dragons and that kind of thing. And I thought this was kind of fun to have a vanity table in here, even though vampires can't actually see themselves reflected on mirrors. This is from Vintage Glamour, as well as these little bottles of cosmetics. We have a jewelry box from the Bella Goth kit, and we also have this jewelry box from Crystal Creations. And as you can see, Vlad can't actually see himself in the mirror, but I think that kind of adds to the whole vampire vibe in here. That's one of the vampire powers that aren't as obvious when you're playing. Here I just added a Jack and Jill bathtub because vampires only actually need to keep it clean. And here is a child's bedroom. We have a toddler bed in here. There is a chest for storage. You can actually store things in this chest, and it actually looks like a really big but also functional bedside table. A lot of the bedside tables in this game aren't very functional. We have the, Nibbles the Grim Turn. That's the name of this plushie. And there's Life and Death and Vampire's Frogs. We also have the Vampire's Closet again. This painting, I really love it. This is from Werewolves, and there's a moon and some moths, which I feel really fit with this theme as well. It's generally great for occults. And we have a little baby bassinet with a Batmobile. A mobile of Batmobile. That sounds kind of like a reference to Batman, and I hadn't noticed that. Here we have another Bat plushie, the same trio of paintings, and I suppose Vlad must have kicked this house. This one is from Enchanted by Nature, but this is what it should look like. I decided to make this just one room because there wasn't much space for this to grow towards this side. There's a bunch of space towards this other side. That's actually why there aren't any ladders coming from these crypts on the upstairs. But here we have another. This is what I refer to as that half apartment. Like, you could say that this is the guest house. There isn't anything for them to keep clean, which they should probably definitely have. So yeah, there we go. A sink. We have a fountain in here, which I always think that it looks so cool. We have the vampire tarot card and another dresser. And these coffins are also from that event that we had right before Life and Death. And that's the build. Thank you so much for watching. Remember that if you would want to download this for your own game, You can find it on the gallery. My ID is Vernio. I will also have the link down in the description. Hope you're having a great start of the year, and I also hope to see you again soon.